I'm joined by Keith after a 2-0 loss to TSM on Week 4, Day 3 of the NALCS. You guys had a lead in this game too. What do you think happened? How that got away from you guys?
So Game 2, we had a couple misplays in bot lane, so we felt pretty far behind, and we tried to, salvage it by making a lane swap and trying to stall the game a bit since I'm on Caitlyn, like a hybrid carry. I think we had pretty good. We did some good things to stall out, and I caught up a bit. I was about 3 levels behind before early, and then I was about the same level later. I think, in general, we don't have the greatest macro, and we fuck up. Sorry.
Sorry. Keep going.
We screw up a lot of just mid-game plays, and I think that led to. It definitely made it super hard, the fact that I'm super far behind as Kate. And I don't think it's happened very often so far this split. And, it happens, right? You'll get solo killed if you mess up communication with your support, right? So it made it really hard to win, but I think the rest of our team did a good job in trying to come back, and it was definitely winnable. I think we just had, a sort of panic situation at the end of the game, so I think that's why we lost.
Despite what happened in the bot lane this game, like you just said, overall Equifox has received high praise for their proficiency in the early game. But as sitting at 3 and 5, what do you think is happening in these late game situations that are causing some of these great early games that you guys are having not to translate over fully?
I think one of the big factors that lead to mess ups in the mid game is our system and communication. We're trying lots of different things for our system. I know in the previous interview I said that I'm a shot caller along with Froggen, but we're not sticking to one system, because I feel like having one person have a lot of responsibilities on a team can be stressful, and can lead to lots of misplays, and it's hard to focus on the gameplay as well as thinking about the macro, right? So we're trying different systems, and I think we're not the best. We haven't mastered any system yet, and I think that's why it causes our macro game to be pretty bad right now.
So you mentioned that you're trying different shot calling systems. You coming in as a shot caller with Froggen right now. What is the dynamic between the two of you as shot callers? Is there a definitive boundary, or is it just kind of whatever feels right in the situation?
It's very situational, game to game, and we both have our respective roles in calling certain things. I will mostly call where we put wards and vision and stuff, but Froggen will usually be in the side lane, and he will call how we should fight or when we should fight. But yeah, definitely game to game, and we're also, we're trying to give more jobs to Gay and Acadian, so that they're not they also, just to try out some brainstorm, not having me and Froggen only do the thinking, right? That's all.
In terms of your career as a player, you're enjoying what many would consider to be a full split peak for you in terms of your level of performance. You had some nice games on Varus, Zaya, Caitlyn. In terms of you as a player, do you think something's changed for you personally, or do you think that has something to do more with you just synergizing better with the team?
In my opinion, I just have a different mentality of this split compared to other splits. In spring, I felt like I was very vulnerable to criticism, and I was very down all the time from losses. And I'm really coming to this split, I have a different way of thinking. I'm trying to really, no matter if we win or lose, I'm trying my best. I believe that my teammates have faith in me, and I have faith in myself, and that's what's causing me to play better.
That's great. It's great to hear. You've kind of been a criticized player in the community over the last year or so, sometimes even when it wasn't your fault, just kind of becoming a scapegoat for maybe a team-wide issue. How do you manage to keep your head in the game, like week in, week out, especially when some of that criticism is not your fault or completely unwarranted?
I would say the best way to deal with that criticism is to avoid it completely. I didn't do a great job of it last split because I tended to read Reddit a lot actually, or if I'm bored, I'll check Twitter. But I think this time around, no matter what criticism I'll get, I can avoid it. Or even if I'll read it, I can not be affected by it. So it's just about me having faith in myself, and I know what's going on with the team. Like, who cares about what random people say, right?
Echo Fox has a 10-man roster where they will scrim now internally, and at least from what I've heard last, you guys are only scrimming internally within your own organization. Can you talk about some of what you think some of the benefits are to that system in terms of your play individually and also team play as a whole in terms of the entire roster?
So for benefits in the system, we can manipulate exactly what we want to practice. We can manipulate exactly what the enemy team, or like what we're playing, the team we're playing next week, what we think they will play. Like we can choose what we played against, right? So I think that's really good compared to scrimming other teams. You would just play what they just want to play, or you'll play what they want to practice, but maybe they won't play it on game day. So, and we can also practice like just different phases of the game, like whether it be level 1 or just laning phase, or specifically mid to late game. We can do that.
Now that you've had some more length to your career as a full-time starter, what do you think the limits are for yourself as a player individually?
I really believe that I don't have a limit as a player, because many people think I've already passed my peak, or like I don't have the potential to grow, but I definitely think otherwise. I can easily get Korean Challenger every single time we go to our Korea boot camp. So mechanically, I think I'm strong. It really depends on how the team plays, how I can synergize with my team, and how, or it's just how we play as a team, because I truly believe I can be the best.
Echo Fox as a team, like you said, trying new things in the communications, mixing things up, 10-man roster. In terms of this specific split, what is the goal for Echo Fox as a team?
I think the goal for Echo Fox's split is just to make playoffs, because obviously people want to aim higher, people want to do more, but we've only finished like bottom 3 or 8th, 9th, and 10th. So I think it would be a really good accomplishment if we can make it in the playoffs.
All right. Well, Keith, thank you so much for the interview. Really appreciate it. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans out there, or the Echo Fox fans?
Just want to say thanks, you guys. Thank you guys for supporting us, and with each week I'm more motivated, and I want to do better. So keep cheering for us.
Best of luck in the coming weeks. For everything else at ALCS and League of Legends Esports, you can go to Halla.com.